Thanks for joining me in the kitchen today with Life's Curveballs. We're going to get started on another delicious meal, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it as well. There's no name to the dish, but it's pretty simple and easy to do. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Let's get started cooking. Hey everyone. Okay, so I went ahead and bought some thinly sliced steaks at Target for this meal. So right now you're just watching me open the packaging so I can get them out. Just to begin the process of marinating meat. I went ahead and grabbed a large bowl down. That way I can get those steaks inside of it and the marinade on top. They were a little tricky just because they were still a little frozen on the center of them. But don't worry, having them partially frozen still does not affect or change the taste of the meat or the ability to marinate it. Now here I went ahead and grabbed the marinade for the meat that I was going to use. And the brand of it is Fontera, as you'll see in just a moment. It was for taco seasoning, I guess. It had cumin in it and some other seasonings. Just pour that right over the top of the meat and then give it a good mix with your hands and let it soak into the meat before you place it in your Ziploc and package it for the fridge. You're going to want to let this sit for at least a couple hours. That way the juices get inside that meat, and that way when you bite into the meat, that's what you taste. I went ahead and grabbed an onion, went ahead and peeled it and sliced it. That way I can go ahead and put it on top of the meat as I cook it in the pot. It's just another level of flavor to add to the dish. It's not needed if you don't want it. Once the onions were sliced, and I pulled my meat back out of the fridge that had been marinating for the past couple hours, I was ready to dump the meat and the onions into the pot, which you'll see me do shortly. And of course, this dish would not be complete without a carb for me. Went ahead and used some Xanaran's yellow rice, which is gluten-free, just to give the dish a little boost, if you will. And then just to elevate the rice a little, I went ahead and sliced up a jalapeno pepper. Of course, I took the seeds out. My wife and I love the heat. We also love the mildness of the pepper itself. So for this dish, I went ahead and took the seeds out completely. It was just unnecessary at this point for the spice. But once I get this sliced up and diced up, I go ahead and throw that into the rice as it's cooking. Again, it just adds another level of flavor to the rice, so it's not just basic boxed rice. So right here I went ahead and boiled the rice per the instructions on the box. And I went ahead and put the lid on, lowered the temperature just a little bit to simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. I also cooked the meat for about the same amount of time, 15 to 20 minutes, as the steaks are super thin, so it's not going to need a long time to cook. So 20 to 25 minutes on that if you choose, but 15 to 20 will also work and keep it tender. As you could see, I went ahead and checked the pots a couple times to see if the dish was done. The meat was done. However, you're not going to be able to see it in this clip, but you will see it in just a second. The camera fogged up too much. The rice actually had some water still in the bottom of the pot, So I went ahead, took the lid off, and raised the temperature slightly on the stove to allow the water to absorb a little better into the rice before I completed it. I then went ahead and weighed out my rice and put my meat into containers individually to go ahead and meal prep the dish. Thanks again for coming into Life's Curveball Kitchen with me, and I'll see you on the next one.